Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and just a quick little apology. I had to refilm this. Apparently, when I scheduled this and everything, the video that was good that did debut, it ended up being like super corrupted and everything. So I'm just gonna represent it. You guys get both decks today. So happy Wednesday. Two decks today. So we'll represent yesterday's Dark World Common Charity. And then you come back in, just say an hour. And then you can have today's deck, which is the regular advanced format, of course. No restrictions. We're not just playing with 3 copies of the structure deck. We're moving forward with another Dark World deck. So double feature. I hope that that's cool. Let's get into it, shall we? So Common Charity, we are going to have a lot less options. However, that doesn't mean that we're out of options. So the first thing I want to run 2 copies Beige Vanguard of the Dark World. And regardless of which player's effect is discarding him, my boy lets us summon him. Next up, we're going to need 3 copies of Brow the Huntsman. And again, when this is discarded by card effect, draw a card. However, if it's the opponent's effect, draw 2. So that's super cool. One card I definitely did not expect to see come out to common was Grapha, the Dragon Lord of Dark World, although he has seen a couple different reprints. So again, he's getting more and more available. So this is more like based around Grapha and a handful of good tech. As far as like the overall view of the deck, the effect here, you can special summon this from the discard pile by returning 1 Dark World monster that you control from the field to the hand with a different name. If this card is discarded to the graveyard by card effect, target card your opponent controls, destroy that card. Then if it was by an opponent's card effect, you can also look at look at 1 random card from their hand. Then if it was a monster card, you may choose to special summon that card to your side of the field. So again, doing big things. As per with the structure deck build, I am leaning towards 2 copies of Silva, and again, cutting gold out of the deck. And again, this just comes down to he summons regardless, but if it's the opponent's card effect, we can go ahead and take exactly 2 cards from the opponent's hand, place them at the bottom of the deck in any order. And all this means is if the opponent has 1 card in their hand, this effect will not resolve. But again, if they have like 3, then it's fine, whatever. But the point here is to try to take hand options and lend ourselves more into a control form. Then we've got this super, super confusing Snow, Unlight of the Dark World, which is a crazy cool effect. So let's go over this again. If it discarded to graveyard by card effect, if discarded by an opponent's card effect, you can target a monster that you're in your opponent's discard pile. If it was your own effect, you just skip that. What you would choose to do then is add Dark World card from deck to hand. Then again, if it was the opponent's card effect, we could choose to special summon the targeted monster in their discard pile in defense position. So again, we do not have to summon the opponent's monsters that are dead. But again, it's good to know that we could if we wanted to. Now, to get aside from the Dark World, of course, we want to play Dangers. So we are going to be running 3 Bigfoot. And again, like normal, like every other Danger card, if this one is the one that's chosen, then it gets discarded. And then you would target 1 face-up card that the opponent controls, destroy that card. And again, like all of them, if he is not the one that is chosen, he special summons while going ahead and replacing the card in hand. Next up, we are going to use 3 copies of the Danger Mothman. So this is an amazing one, especially in the Dark World, because the effects are just almost geared towards us. You reveal this one again, like normal. If the discarded card is not him, special summon Mothman from hand, and if you do, draw the card. However, if he is the one discarded, I may choose to have both players draw 1 card, then have them discard 1 card. So essentially, he's Dark World dealings as a body. And again, you can only activate 1 of these effects per turn, but that's fine. Even if they find the Mothman, we still get a sweet effect. We are running 2 Thunderbirds. And again, it just comes down to I wanted to have 2, not just have a single here. And again, if this was the one that gets selected, we get to target a set card that the opponent controls and destroy it. And last up would be Tsuchinoko. And Tsuchinoko will summon regardless. It's just a matter of whether or not he got picked or not, which is why he's limited to 1. which is all good. So real quick, that is the monster base for this deck. Go ahead, take a screenshot, or go ahead and make those notes. I'll clean up the board, and I'll be back with the spell traps in just a second. Leading off our spell choices, 1 copy Called by the Grave. Again, this will stop different effects. One of the ones I'm most afraid of with this deck is actually Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, since again, we do have ways to special summon almost all of our cards on the discard, which means they'll be special summoned from the discard pile. So again, Ghost Bell can sort of stop us, but again, it's not seen as much. And again, in commentary, I do believe we just got this. So you never know. Might happen. Again, 1 copy Card Destruction. Again, thank the structure deck for this one. This will allow us to make both players discard their hands to redraw that many new. But again, since it's all pure effect, any effects that are in our hand, if it's just a big board summon while we dump the hand and then get a fresh hand, let's go for it, okay? Let's enjoy this, and this is refreshing to see in Common Charity. Next up, single copy Dark Hole. Again, I don't have Raigeki in Common Charity, so I kind of need something to blow the board. And if we're being honest, it was this or Dark Ruler No More. And if I was going to run Dark Ruler No More, I'd want 1 more copy somewhere in the deck. I know which card I'd take out for it, and I'll get to that when I do when I show that card. But for right now, the way that I've been playtesting this is with the Dark Hole instead. Next up, 3 copies Dark World Dealing, because again, we got to get those draws, we got to get those discards so we can start boarding cards even faster and start manipulating the field. We are playing a full-on Dark deck, 2 copies Super Polymerization, and again, so many card effects that will discard, so I don't think that you're going to run into too many areas where this is actually a dead card. And next is the card I would take out and swap with the Dark Hole for the Dark Rulers, would be Terraforming. And again, I just want to get to the field spell. Snow's already going to do this, so again, it's like having 6 copies of the field spell. This is like having 7. So maybe dropping this in the Dark Hole for a couple of Dark Rulers would be the better play. Up next is going to be our field spell. 3 copies Gates of Dark World. And again, all Fiend monsters are going to gain 300 attack and defense. And then once per turn, we get this amazingly complicated effect that does so many good things for us. Once per turn, we can banish 1 Fiend monster from the graveyard, then discard 1 Fiend monster, then draw 1 card. Now, none of that is a cost. Maybe just the banishment. But the discard is totally in effect, which means we can, banish 1 to essentially summon 1, and then additionally replace the card from our hand that we just summoned. Moving into the traps, I am using 3 copies of Deck Devastation Virus this time. Again, it's Common Charity. I really want to make sure that the hand traps aren't out there. And this is why the 1 Called by the Grave plus 3 of these kind of makes me feel safer. And it's just all about playing smarter, not harder. And then last up, again, whenever you see a structure deck come out, the meta becomes the structure deck. So one of my favorite ways to counter Dark World right now is actually using trap cards like Solemn Strike, because it does say when a monster or monsters would be special summoned or the monster effect activated, then we could go ahead and pay the life points, negate, destroy. And again, if your opponent goes into the card destro, we can go ahead, we can stop all the summons. If you stop the summons, they don't get the rest of the effects. And by that, I mean like Silva, Gold, cards like that. So again, this is the rest of the main deck. Guys, take a photo, maybe pause the video, make your notes real quick, and I'll be back with the extra deck in a few seconds. All right, to start the extra deck, first things first, we have Super Poly. What are we using it for? We're going to use it for 2 copies Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. That one's pretty cut and dry. The Xyz, we had to get a little more creative because, again, this is Common Charity, so we don't have access to something entirely crazy. Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, good for punching over things. Drill Driver Vespinato, good for that stage up off of a 4 that no longer has material. Utopia, because I didn't really want to make a 15th decision, guys. This is actually a free zone. If you've got something that you enjoy, put it here. We were using the Time Thief Redoer, just kind of helps modify the opponent's side. Tornado Dragon, great for the double MST. Going into the links, we've got the Agave Dragon. Now again, looking at it real quick, we don't use dragons, dinos, sea serpents, or worms. So we're just using it as a big 3K monster. We do use the Barricade Board blocker. This does run interference for our field spell. Borlo Dragon is also here to help us punch over stuff. Decode Talker because I like it. Gravity Controller is almost the same as me using the Drill Driver Vespinato, but in this case, I want to like run like a Grand Mole and bounce an opponent's card out of their extra zone. Because again, if you're playing with a common charity deck, there's no saying that you're playing against other common charity players. You may just be playing up against somebody who has a regular deck, and you're playing your common charity build for fun. You can play this out of format. It's not going to do as well as the one later today. Steel Star Regulator, again, good way to step off of a dead Xyz. We'll gain extra effects for it. Triple Burst Dragon does some great stuff. And Underclock Taker, really going to help you go ahead and generate a nice imbalance on the field. So real quick, guys, that is the extra deck. Do your thing. Real quick, let me do mine. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I want to thank you guys for checking this deck out today. Hopefully you guys like it. Maybe you guys have got some improvements to be made. I'm always ears. Down in the comment section, let's have a conversation, all right? Additionally, if you've been enjoying the content on the channel, please support us. Easiest way to do this is a like and a comment. It helps us get seen by more people on this platform. Helps us, kind of mess with the algorithm. Outside of that, maybe we've earned your subscription. Maybe we haven't yet. If we have, go ahead, click the button, maybe hit the notifications too. This way you guys get up to date every time we upload. And if not, no big deal. I hope to earn it next time. And for now, at least, you guys have a great day. I'll be back here in a little bit. I got another deck to show you guys. And later.